That's how I feel.
Right? Should I stop yawning right now?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm doing, Vanessa. You know what I'm doing.
Lashes.
Like this.
Thank you. I was looking earlier today for things that I could plaster to my face and be like lashes, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to use my fingers.
Lashes are out of control with all women who wear those big old lashes.
Listen, that is the hot topic. I was thinking what can we start with our hot topic? And then I was like, Vanessa sent me that video, and I was like, ooh, lashes. Lashes have gotten out of control.
Oh, no, I sent it to Tanya. Wait, I can't.
Shahida, wait for it. Not only the top, but the bottom.
The bottom too?
Yes.
Oh, wait for it.
And lips.
Oh, yes, and she got lip fillers.
Why does she need lip fillers?
Oh,
for real?
Numbing cream.
Oh my goodness.
Bottom lashes.
But why do people think that looks good though?
Wait until she opens her eyes.
It looks like have caterpillars on her eyes.
It really does.
Injections. There they go.
She used to fix her teeth before she.
Chris, you got to talk. Wait for it.
Why? Oh no. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Come on.
And honestly, you see her before the eyelashes. She's not unattractive. She looks good. That's just too much.
And then she turned into Chucky on her shirt. Because that's exactly what she looked like. I was watching this whole transformation going down, and I couldn't not pay attention to her t-shirt. And I'm like, wow, you fitting to turn into Chucky.
Well, why do people think that looks good, though? Like, who's telling them that looks good?
Somebody. I think a lot of, especially women, I know guys think that we do a lot of the stuff for them, but I think we're competing with each other. And if another woman loves it, then a lot of people will do it. I don't see.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Listen, I have too many sensitivities with regards to my eyes on top of astigmatism. I can't even put, as much as I want to, I can't even put mascara on because it'll drive my eyes crazy. So I couldn't even
I would die without mascara.
I can't do it. I try it. I have mascara and I try it. And then like an hour in, I'm literally sitting here and I'm just like, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
so I got to things like my eyebrows, my eyeshadow and, highlighter and whatever, just to take away from the fact that I have no lashes. Because apparently lashes are a thing now.
So it's more.
I've seen AD now. Have you all seen her lately? On some of her newer Instagram posts, somebody hold to her. Her weave is looking so much better. In the eyes, she toned it down. And I think she's doing a promo for, is it one of the athletic wears? It's not Adidas.
Probably Fabletics.
Who?
It's probably either Fabletics or Lululemon. But if I had to be a betting girl, I'd say Fabletics because Lululemon isn't really particular on people that look
with
like
big butts.
Well, that's her now.
Much better.
Oh, that's her with the braids, but she has one with her weave is like hanging. She looks much better.
Yeah.
Well, these are her latest ones, though.
Okay.
These are her latest ones.
Oh, yeah. AD is showing out. And the fact, and we just might as well get into it. And on top of the fact that what's his name? Jimmy. Did y'all see that? Jimmy was like, I'm not opposed if AD is open. I'm not opposed to going out with AD. He wants that.
He was on the Tonight Show the other night.
He was on the Tonight Show?
Jimmy? The Roots were doing a
yeah.
Chelsea Jimmy thing.
It was stupid. It didn't even make sense. But let's go to it then, Tanya.
Oh yeah, well, it was the Love Is Blind reunion, and once again, I'm just going to speak for me. Once again, I will say this: it was a little bit better than the reunions of the past. I think they took the premise of like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, where they brought the old people back, the old couples back or old contestants back.
No one cares.
That's kind of.
No one cares about the old couples.
Not at all.
Yeah. But I was going to say, if you're going to bring back the old people, at least bring back the original. Like when Love Is Blind when first came out. The what's her name? What's her name?
Girl on the white.
Cameron, I think his name is Cameron and Lauren. Cameron and Lauren. You should have had them.
Are they still together?
They should be.
They are.
Yes, they are.
They should have hosted it.
But Cameron said that he didn't even watch this season. He said he tried to.
Yeah.
And he's like, nothing against, these people, but he called BS on it too. So he said they were busy.
And I would have even been open to last season's couple that what was his name? The 6'9" brother with he was married to I think she was from Puerto Rico. I forgot their names. I should have written it down. I didn't take no notes watching these shows this past week. But I forgot. But anyway, they should have had them on at least. Why would you have Micah? Why would you have the other guy that he had bad credit last year on last season?
Becca, yeah.
Yeah. And then why would you have the girl that I'm like, I don't know who you are, but she was pregnant and brought her baby daddy that wasn't even on Love Is Blind.
Right. I don't know why they even had pass people on. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was too long.
Well, let's get to what we want.
All right, go. Let's go. Who wants to go first?
For the show, I wanted them to get to. Okay, let's start talking about AD or this, that, and the other. So Clay, he says he still loves her, and he's the one. I don't believe it. No.
Listen to me. Clay is all about lip service to me. He talks a good. He is a slick ass dude. He is the epitome of a slick ass dude that he thinks he's saying all of the right things. But he's just basically gaslighting. He talks around the situation like his daddy did at the wedding when his daddy came in and was talking to him, and his daddy was all in competition with him instead of just saying, "Don't be like me." Like, I messed up. I should have never brought you with me when I was cheating on your mom. Do not be like me. If this is a woman that you love and she's got her shit together and you want to be with her and build this, don't be like me. He's like his daddy. And AD fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
I felt who? You think she fell for it? Or you mean everybody else?
I think AD fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. After the fact, I'm talking about after the wedding. I'm talking about the reunion now, where he was sitting there talking and she was just eating it up. And I was glad, because at one point I was like, AD, don't, don't, AD,
she
don't.
held firm.
And she held firm. She held herself firm and was like, you played me in my face. But I think AD was kind of saying that because she wanted to save face. I don't think she meant it.
How about the fact that she dated, what's his name? Weird dude.
Matthew.
She did. Oh yeah, she went on one date with him.
No, a couple days. He made her boiled chicken and rice or something.
I mean, what's that white man gonna make? Chris.
Chicken and rice.
Well, at least
chicken and rice, and probably some steamed broccoli or asparagus or something.
He seems very regimented.
And that's what she said. He was very regimented. But how excited! I mean, I literally was loving every minute of it when she was talking about it. And Clay is a whole meme now. He was sitting there, all sitting stiff in his chair. He's like, he did not like it, and I loved every second of it. I was like,
What do you think of Trevor making his disastrous appearance? Can I leave now?
Can I leave now? He couldn't even say anything. He was like this.
He reminds me of a character, and I was, for the longest, I was calling him Henry Munster, but that's not it. He's just, who does he remind you of? Because just so, Ferrigno. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah.
The Hulk. That's who he reminds me of.
At least the Hulk was deaf. Lou Ferrigno was deaf.
Oh, Chris, yeah, you're right on that.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor was like, and also he didn't know he was going to get called out with the texts. I don't think he had any idea that all the texts were coming out. About the pumpkin and this and the other, because he looked like he was red. He was caught red-handed. I'm like, you got to say something, man. I mean, you got to be like.
The fact that it was him that was the player just blew my mind. Like, this dude.
I think he knew what was coming, and hence why he came out there. He came out there with his tail between his legs. He sat down. He had his head low. It's all about the body language. He sat down. He put his head down. And when they initially started asking about it, he had nothing to say because he knew that what he did was kind of trifling.
But he said he had a whole thing prepared. He said he had a whole speech prepared. He was ready to talk. And then they brought out the text messages. That's when he was like, oh, that's not going to work now. Because I'm red-handed in.
I don't think he knew about the text.
He didn't know about.
I guess it depends on when the reunion was recorded, as opposed to when the text came out. Because obviously, we've all seen the text. I've seen it on TikTok, on Instagram, way before the reunion came out. So I have no clue when the reunion was filmed, as opposed to when the text messages came out. So you're right. Maybe the text messages came out after the reunion was filmed, and now he comes out and he's blindsided. The way I took it from my standpoint was he knew about this, came out there with his head down and tail between his legs. And when they brought it up, he was like, I don't even know what to say. And can I just leave? I thought it was unnecessary, number one, because Trevor was not a major player. He wasn't going to the altar. I think they could have saved that time. They could have maybe touched upon it without bringing him out. They could have talked about it and kind of shamed him in their own little way. I just think they gave Trevor way too much venom and heat, as opposed to not talking to Kenneth and Brittany, and not getting into Chelsea and Jimmy, and Chelsea with all of her crazy.
That's what everybody was tuning in for, Chelsea and crazy. So I don't understand. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Tanya, but I just want to just go back just a little bit, because I did like the idea that they had some of the older people, come out or whatever, see how they did. But we didn't need to get a video of a baby shower. We didn't need to see any of that. We missed pertinent information everybody was tuning into. I had read that it was 4 hours, and they chopped it down to 1.5 hours. So did you leave out Jimmy and Chelsea's whole storyline? And then going back to AD and Clay, I'm glad that I think they did that more for AD to get some kind of, redemption back, because she was so devastated. So I'm glad that she had a moment to really say her piece. But that, to me, that was one of the worst reunion shows because they didn't answer any of the questions that we really wanted. And what was the guy named? The black guy. And I'm glad that they're friends, but they didn't ask them anything about what happened.
Oh yeah. You're talking about Kenneth and Brittany.
Yeah, Kenneth, and we didn't get not one real question geared towards them.
They're best friends now. They're besties.
I don't care.
So, it was time to go full on Barbara Walters. Tanya,
hold on. Love is Blind in a clip released on the 23rd of February while asking fans to share their questions for the cast in the comments, which considering the reunion episode was then released on the 14th of March, we can safely assume the episode was filmed at some point in those 2 weeks between February 23rd and March 14th, which is roughly a year after the experiment commenced. So the end of February.
Okay, so
end of February, beginning of March.
So he didn't know about those texts because we didn't know about those texts until 2-3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that because he looked like he turned red as soon as those texts came out and the receipts. Nick Lachey's reading them. It was like so.
Oh my God! It was like I was waiting for a violinist to come out, and it was like a Shakespearean moment where Vanessa was reading
Chelsea's
the girlfriend's text, and Nick was reading Trevor's text, and I'm like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, at what point is the violinist or somebody's going to come out there and be like, it was ridiculous. It was a waste of time.
Exactly.
Shame.
Oh yes, Game of Thrones. Confess. I would, if they would have done that, I would have been all like, amen. I would have loved it.
But I'm sick of people, especially the dudes in all of these things. They just won't fess up. If they messed up and they did something wrong, just own the fact that, I messed up and I apologize. Because like when Jeremy and what's her name started, they said at the end, Jeremy was like, okay, I apologize and I shouldn't have done this and the other. It was like why don't you say at the beginning?
With Sarah Ann?
They just keep beating. They're like, no, they defend themselves so much and they get caught in something like Trevor, as opposed to saying, you know what? I did have a girlfriend, maybe I shouldn't have done it, but I thought that I could find someone, just tap dancing around the whole thing as opposed to just owning up to I made a mistake or I was wrong or none.
Did he ever say he made a mistake though? Did he, Jeremy?
He said he genuinely looked at this thing as an experiment to see if something could happen between just bullshit.
Because he still was, like, to me, the biggest villain. I mean, the way he did Lauren in the end, that was just so disrespectful. And I'm glad that people came in hard on both of them. Why did he wear that damn shirt? What was that damn shirt and that white jacket? He looked a damn fool.
Because he liked Hawaiian shirts. And remember, on him.
Yeah, I know. Tacky as hell.
But the fact of the matter again is you got to call people on their bullshit. Like Sarah Ann or whatever the fuck her name is. It's like, whatever happened to girl code? Like if he proposed, yes, I get it. That you and Laura, whatever her name is, had a connection with Jeremy. Okay? He chose Laura over you. He proposed to Laura. Whatever happened to stay in your lane? Why are you messaging him on Instagram while they're on their
honeymoon,
fiance moon?
Yeah,
and saying if it doesn't work out, that is some trifling ass shit. I would never, and not saying that. Even though they're not friends, like Laura and Sarah Ann aren't friends. But at the end of the day, as a woman, he chose her over me. I'm not going to backdoor and send him a message and say, hey, things were left unsaid. I don't care at this point. If I wasn't chosen, I don't care.
But it worked.
It did work. But now she's trifling.
But she got what she wanted, though. I mean, I don't agree with her. She should have stayed out of their business. That was disrespectful.
Yes.
But it worked.
I mean, but that was the point that I was trying to make. She needed to mind her business. If it was meant to be, this is the way I look at it. If it was meant to be with you and Jeremy, then it would happen. Because
you could make it happen.
I just think that Laura's personality was way too much for Jeremy. They would have never made it. Even if they got to the altar, I guarantee you, he would have said no, or she would have said no, or both of them would have said no at the same time and be like, yeah, no, it's not going to work.
Yeah, she's kind of like a Claire-ish in terms of like being very type A and very direct.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of cut him down a lot, and he didn't feel similar with that whole like she'd make a joke on his behalf, at his expense. So it was definitely that same kind of dynamic.
But he's weak.
Her mother was checking her on that too. Remember, her mother said something to her about how she spoke to him. But I feel like that's still not enough to do what he did.
Nope.
No.
I would have spoke to him the same way. Whatever. Listen, don't play me.
She met the family and everything. That and the night before was like, we're gonna be together. This something. Yeah, he
wanted out.
He wanted out.
Yeah, and on top of the fact that it's like, I will say this. I agree with Nick and Vanessa at some point with regards to, but then again, I've been saying this for the longest time, and we talk about it, and here we are about, now we're in season 6, and you've got these people that are going on here they have ulterior motives. I mean, let's look at the reality. Jimmy was just on Jimmy Fallon.
Makes no sense, but go ahead.
Then you've got Jessica that is all over Instagram and TikTok posting videos. She's got ad deals with Ulta and Sephora.
And her daughter. She's pimping out her daughter too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like these people, these young people, and I don't fault them at all. Because I watch it, it's entertainment for me at the end of the day. And Sarah Ann said it when she put it on her TikTok. She's like, this is entertainment, people. You love it. You watch it. You're enjoyed, you're entertained by it or whatever. And here we are. And I don't think that, obviously Netflix and obviously Nick and Vanessa weren't happy about that. And that's why I was a little perturbed when they trotted out Trevor. And they tried to shame Trevor for using it for clout.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying to myself, if you're going to, and then when Nick had the audacity to say, well, you said you wanted to leave, then leave. He just dismissed him. It was so rude. And I was like, well, if you're going to dismiss him and chide him for using this as a means of clout, then you need to talk to everybody that's sitting on them couches, because everybody's about to make money. I've seen it. I've seen AD's social media, Jimmy's, Jessica. I haven't seen, obviously, Kenneth and Brittany, but everybody else is Chelsea. All of them are all over the internet.
Not really going on there just for that. Trevor went on there just for that. I think Jess really did like. Well, maybe she's an amazing actress, but I really think she did fall in love with Jamie or whatever his name is.
Jimmy.
So I think, some people come on there for the right reasons and really want it. And then so happen, because she got jilted, I think too, she got the deals. I think that's only the reason why she got the deals, because if she was with Jimmy, I don't think, and they had a happy, Jim, what's his other guy name? The redhead. The one who's
Johnny and
because they're happy in their own little thing and they're not going to get any. But I think, and if she and Jamie were together, there wouldn't be any heat behind how Jimmy treated Jess and all that kind of stuff. So I think she got all the stuff because she got jilted, not because she was trying to get, But I think Trevor was trying to get something out of it that. Being blatant. She said Jess came into it without a relationship, really wanting to be with someone, gave her all. And I think people recognize that more. And if she gets something out of it, so be it. But I don't think she was looking for that. I think Trevor was looking specifically for that. And maybe some other people were, like Sarah Ann probably was trying to get something along those lines, but she's a villain. So,
yeah. And I agree with you, Chris. And with regards to Jessica, it doesn't hurt that she's absolutely beautiful. I mean, no homo.
And she had great last line when she was leaving the pod. She said, "Just you wait and see who you."
Yeah, you're gonna need an EpiPen. Yeah, she's gonna get your inhaler and your EpiPen and the whole nine. Listen, I was like, when she said it, when I watched it, I was like, you ain't lying, Jessica, because when Jimmy sees you, he's gonna be like,
not getting any deals. Is she getting any makeup deals?
She has yes, she's doing ads now for Ulta, Sephora. She's doing on her TikTok.
Chelsea?
Oh, no, not Chelsea. I'm talking about Jessica.
Chelsea, that's what I'm saying. Chelsea's not getting anything.
I think she will be able to parlay it into something, though.
Something, but not like really. She wasn't going on there to try to get a makeup deal. I don't
she might. You never know.
Well,
we're gonna make you look like Megan Fox, boo.
Right. Exactly.
But I agree with you, Chris, about the Jimmy thing. I'm glad that they called him out. And I think in doing so, they were letting other people know, if you come for the wrong reasons, which I think a good percentage of them do, we are going to call you out. And he needed to be called out because what he did was very, very dirty. And, he really, and I was glad that Chelsea said that she knew that something was off. We can't still be 100% sure because I feel like the narrative changes all the time and we don't get to see the full picture. So in hindsight, now you're saying, oh yeah, I knew something was wrong with him all along, where when we were watching it, I was thinking the only reason you wanted Jimmy was because Jesse wanted Jimmy. So now you can kind of like change it up a little. And I feel that happened a lot that night, that a lot of people's stories kind of changed them.
Yeah.
But she was also attracted when she saw Trevor for the first time. Remember, she said he's my type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, some people like the Hulk.
Exactly.
With a mullet.
And some psoriasis happening right here.
Oh, child, girl. I was like,
But I could see them together. I still can see Trevor and
I do too. Can I just say one thing? I don't mean to be disrespectful, Chelsea, but you need to go and learn how to walk and run because that effing run is absolutely, it's like, she is like a monkey.
It was like the female Hulk. So her and Trevor would have been perfect for each other. They could imagine Trevor at one end, Chelsea at the other end, and them two clomping their way down the aisle to hug each other and probably fall over each other on the floor. I would have stand for that. I would have loved to see that.
So how did they avoid not talking about her behavior?
She ran like this. Wait.
Chris.
Wait.
We can't see it. It's not focused.
It's
because we have this back thing on.
See that?
We got to take the back.
Oh, is that the dodgeball?
I can see his dodgeball.
Him running back.
But how did they not hear about her behavior? How did they only get 5 minutes? And no questions?
It was the Jimmy and Jessica show. They didn't even touch upon Chelsea and her behavior during the season. I would have gone full Barbara Walters. I mean, somebody needs to, well, it wouldn't happen today, this day and age, because everybody's too butthurt over sensitive shit. But back in the day, Barbara Walters used to ask everything, even when people would say, you can't ask me that.
I'm surprised they didn't do, if they take 4 hours, I'm surprised they didn't try to squeeze out 2 episodes of an hour each or something like that.
Because they know people would have watched it. That's why I said to you in text, I said, something is shady with this season. There is no way you did 4 hours and you just said, oh, we're just going to do an hour and a half, not ask the important questions to two major couples. Chelsea not getting like just a couple of minutes. And then she did an interview later where she's saying that she's explaining the argument that they had, completely different from what they said. I can't believe where's the film? I can't believe what you're saying. That's what I mean. Everybody's changing the narrative. And I feel like Love is Blind did something wrong this season that we don't know about, because there's no way that you did 4 hours and you can milk out 2 episodes easily.
Just like Real Housewives. They work Real Housewives at least 3 and 4 weeks.
Thank you. Exactly. And people watch every single week. So there's no way. And this is the first time, because usually they're like 2 hours. So what was different now? I had to chop it down to an hour. We weren't mad at the time. We were mad that you had bad hosts.
And the information was not gotten out.
So it's something weird.
Was waiting because, see, if I was the producer, if I was the host, I'd be like, we gonna bring Jimmy's friend out here that, he slept with.
Why?
Why not? I'm holding everybody's feet to the fire. I'm gonna be like, Chelsea, no, see, these are the questions, these are the hard conversations that need to be had. Chelsea, what came into your brain to bring it up on camera because you were having some sort of insecure moment? Because that's what she was having. She was having an insecure meltdown. It was all about her self-esteem at that moment. And why would you bring up when he specifically, I give Jimmy props because Jimmy didn't have to tell her that he fucked his friend.
Because I would not have.
Neither would I. I don't have to tell you nothing. What I've done in the past. What I've done in the past is in the past. I meet you tomorrow. What I've done in the past is in the past. What you've done in the past is the past. We're meeting up and we're building together. Period. End of story. I mean, unless I killed somebody. But at the end of the day,
ain't telling that either.
No, I probably wouldn't either because I don't want to go to prison.
Did he invite her or no? She wanted to stay home. Did he ever invite her?
And he did invite her, and she had just came from another out with her girlfriends, and she said she was tired, and she thought that he was just going to stay home with her. But he hadn't gone out that day.
He was only out for an hour and a half.
She should have went and squashed it. She should have gone.
And he was only out for an hour and a half, so it's not like he was Jeremy,
including
going out all night. That's a whole nother story.
That part. And he told her he was going out. And it was his friend that I guess, what was he, getting married or something? Or something was, a birthday or whatever event. And he was like, I'm just going out for an hour and a half. And he came back home. But that's besides the point. He was man enough to tell her that this is my friend. And you know what? Out of respect for you and our relationship, we did have sex back in the day. But nothing's there. We're still friends. You have nothing to worry about. He didn't have to tell a shit, which that's his problem. But the fact that she turned around because she had a moment of weakness and a moment of insecurity and whatever she has, self-esteem issues, she throws it back in his face on camera. That was wrong. She should have been brought on the carpet for that at the reunion. I would have brought that up. And as a producer or an executive producer or whoever makes the decisions of the show, I would have reached out to the friend and been like, are you willing to come on and talk about how you feel about this?
If they're bringing up past people from other seasons, they probably try to get as much. I don't understand why you wouldn't squeeze as much juice out of it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care about the contestants or the couples from past seasons. Bring out the friend. I would have been like, how much do you want Jimmy's friend that you slept with? Let's bring you to the couch and let's have a conversation. I got questions that I need answers to.
But I was happy to see the black love between Brett and last season, and his.
And I love them anyway. They were
like
good from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm all for that. And again, let's talk about Kenneth and Brittany. Barbara Walters would have been like, Kenneth,
are you right?
He's got to be there for his kids. That's what he said.
Are you gay? Barbara Walters would have asked him that shit. I would have called him out. Why? I mean, I get it that you're on the phone. You're a hands-on. He said it. I'm a hands-on principal. And, I didn't have my phone for the amount of time. And when I got back, I was talking to parents and students and staff and whatever. And I'm saying to myself, but didn't you, we all have jobs. And if I'm going to be MIA for a month, I don't know how long the filming is, but if I'm going to be gone for a month and I know that I'm not going to have access to my phone or computers or whatever, I'm going to make sure everything's squared up so that when I get back, I'm not going to be sitting there like he was. He did a 180. It was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He was all in love in the pods, went to the Dominican Republic and was like, oh my God, I love you. And then when it got time, we saw it when the honeymoon or whatever, that fiance moon was coming to an end and they were on that boat, that beautiful yacht or whatever they were on with all that good food. And she's trying to have a conversation with him. He's just sitting there like.
Even before he got the phone, he was ignoring her.
Yeah.
And there's a dog was a principal. Dude, ain't that much talking after work, please.
Yeah, they should have definitely interviewed him or at least pressed him like, they said, you had your phone all the time. They made a joke about the phone, but they said, what about on the boat? It seemed like you were out on the boat. Like, when did you start checking out, or when did you start, not feeling the relationship? Because it seemed like it seemed like you were less into the relationship than she was. And then when you got your phone, it seemed like but they made it a whole joke about, not having his, and also he was on the phone. He wasn't on the phone like, hold on, babe, like I got to do this real quick. He was just like,
or even ask him at when they were in the Dominican Republic. This would have been my number one question. Was it the point when AD came to you, when y'all was on the fiance moon, and said to you, I know you love her and everything's great, but she's a white woman, and is she going to be able to raise black? AD raised a valid point and a valid question. I think it was at that moment, his brain cells triggered and was like, wow, I mean, I really like this woman. I really love her or whatever. Maybe obviously he didn't because he was so quick to leave. And it's like, I think it was at that moment that needed to be talked about more. I think that needed to be discussed more. I think he needed to be asked about it. He and Brittany was sitting on that couch, and I'm like, why are you here? You're just taking up space at this point.
Or something.
She even said it, though.
Right.
She said it. She alluded to it. So obviously, if they were shooting for 4 hours and then they got to that question and she was just like, well, finally you guys get to me. What was going on? What was going on for 3.5 hours?
I don't know. Or better yet.
Like, where did it fall apart between the two? Like, address both of them. Like, where do you think it fell apart between the two? Even though they're best friends now, if they're best friends now, then they could have an open conversation. Say, you know what, maybe
exactly
so and so, and she'd be like, he doesn't seem really into me anymore. They could at least we could have at least heard the conversation of what happened, because it went from this to nothing, and then we never heard about it again.
Nope. And the crassness of it when they got home. And he was sitting, every time you saw him, he was on the phone, and he was very, he was quiet. He wasn't talking to her. He wasn't doing anything. She's trying to have a conversation. She's trying to have a legitimate conversation with him. And he's like this. Mm-hmm. And then says to her, yeah, this ain't going to work.
Mm-hmm. Out of nowhere. Right. Out of nowhere.
The fact that he wasn't grilled on that, to me, I'm like, why? I don't give a shit about Trevor. So Trevor had a girlfriend. Trevor could have had a wife and a whole ass family. And I wouldn't have cared. Because Trevor didn't go to the altar. I mean, neither did these two. But they went to the Dominican Republic. They got engaged. I need answers, Kenneth.
We need to do some investigation, find out who's the producer.
Right.
We can let's do some recon. I can find out.
You know, it's funny though. You know those memes that have the, I'm the oldest child and I'm the best in the thing. I'm the youngest child and I'm the, how they cut out the middle child. I feel like Johnny and what's her name are the middle child because we don't want to hear like Trevor and so. So they go Johnny and something, and then AD is
She looked fabulous. That red dress, woo, and the red.
She lost weight too.
She looked great. Johnny.
What's her name? She's Johnny so forgettable. I don't even know her last name.
Johnny and Amy.
Amy was on fire.
She looked great.
You know what? I didn't even register because I saw him 1 minute.
Red lips.
She lost weight.
Hot. Yeah, she looked great.
She did look nice.
Listen, Amy came in hot. Amy came in hot like I am a married woman sitting amongst you peasants.
Yes.
Why am I here with you trash? That's what Amy and Johnny came in. I mean, Johnny was a little bit more low key. Amy was just sitting there like, ugh. And I would have done the same thing if I was Amy. I'd be like, why am I sitting on this couch with these people? We need our own little love seat over there with Brett and his woman. And, I forgot what the one from Dallas there, the one that's pregnant with her husband. Oh yeah, I need to sit over there with the real people.
Sarah, and just because I talked about Sarah Ann for a bit, please.
Go ahead.
I just do not. She tried to justify her actions. The cows came home, and still trying to be like with him. Was it Chelsea said? I thought you guys you were broken up, and then he tried to say, well, we haven't. They were just trying to be like a united front with each other, and it was all bullshit.
Yeah,
because I think Chelsea said every time I see you, you got broken up. So keep going forward.
And then, we've had problems. It's like, okay, I think they're just doing it to try to boost I don't know. I just do not like her at all.
I don't like him either. They're both like scummy people. So, but she did, and it is true. Women always get the brunt of it, But I don't know, her showing up to that barbecue the way she did and seeking it,
home wrecker.
Yeah, she did it. It was the worst.
Stayed her ass at home, but of course, we know it was
planned. We know that was an event actually planned, but the whole laughing and giggling and the being on the jet skis, that was too much. That was too much. I really thought she was gonna fall like chick from Married at First Sight. Like I was waiting for an accident to happen.
Emily and Brennan.
But Laura in Barcelona, I thought she came off pretty well though.
She did from the beginning.
I liked it. I loved every moment of Laura's.
When they went to the tape, didn't they go to because he had said something and then she called him out and she got justified on something. What was it?
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember what she said.
I remember.
He asked the direct question of like, why did you lie on your location? And he kept hemming and hawing about the whole thing. I'm like, dude, just say, look, I didn't want.
Oh yes, because he had his Apple Watch on. He had his location on, and he obviously being I'm not going to label all men, but his dumb ass left his phone in the car with the location on in the parking lot or what have you, thinking that, and I guess he didn't remember that he's got his Apple Watch on and the location is going to follow your ass wherever you go.
Why didn't you just own up to that though? Yeah. You never even owned up to it.
Yeah.
You got caught. You got caught doing what you needed, doing some shady shit. She caught you. She said, I was up waiting for you, and you came home and you're like, no, he was like, you weren't waiting up for me. She's like, why do you think I knew where you were?
Mm-hmm.
He still could not be like, okay,
And he tried to sneak into the living room, dude.
Right. Yeah, but again, it's a pattern. It's a behavior pattern with him because during the season, it came out online that he had a whole fiance, that they had a house together, that they broke up. I mean, he admitted it on the reunion because he had to, but I guess if it wouldn't have come out, he wouldn't have never said anything. But he had a whole fiance. First of all, I can't see being in a marriage or a fiancé-ship for whatever long, living together in a house and then breaking up. And then my brain is going to be like, oh, let me go on Love is Blind, or let me go date somebody else, or go on some dating show. No, I need time to get over this bullshit before I entertain someone else in my life. But again, I am talking from a space of a woman of a certain age. These kids today are just on a whole nother level. So I'm just like, how do you do that? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
All right, let's go on to yes, three minutes on MAFS.
One more thing with Love is Blind. So Clay and his mama went on the Tamron Hall show, and I was utterly disgusted. Did y'all see that?
No, but I heard some things about it.
Nothing changed. I mean, it was the premise of the show was like changing your life, or doing whatever. I forgot what it was that Tamron was talking about. But and I love me some Tamron. But she had Clay on there, and Clay did what he did best. He basically was slick talking. And I was a little disappointed because I love me some Tamron, and Tamron has no problem with asking them questions and holding people's feet to the fire. And she kind of was not asking him the hard questions. I think she was more focused.
She probably hadn't even seen it or was not invested in it.
Well, I don't think she's seen it, because she did say in the beginning that like she was getting all these texts and people from her staff and friends and stuff like Love is Blind reunion, yada yada yada, and you got to talk about Clay. I think she was more focused on his mother, which I kind of agreed with. His mother came out and she talked to his mom about how his mother addressed the father of his past behavior and stuff. I like that. But I was just like, when she was talking to Clay, and I think I kind of sensed that she was kind of looking at him like, yeah, let's go to break and bring the mama out, because he ain't telling me nothing. But that's all I got on that one. Married at First Sight. I'm gonna let y'all have it, because all I want to talk about is the after party.
I didn't watch the after
party. What after party? Oh, I didn't watch the
after party. All I know is I know you were Michael fans. I never was a Michael fan, and I think he's proven he's not into her. She's spinning her wheels, and they're obviously not. They're not gonna make it. So,
but as I said, he knocked the boots, and she's more into him than she thought. And now he's backing up, and he's telling you it was going to change. It was going to change how they reacted to one another, and because he was more into her than she was. She was,
But he always poses those questions, right. And like, I don't know whether he was ever into her. It's always like this cerebral, like, I'm cool and I'm really hip, and does that really, it was, he never.
Are you getting Clay vibes
from Michael?
Yeah. Because remember, we all thought that Clay was sincere, and I thought Michael was sincere too. And now I'm starting to wonder, my clicker's off.
Take me out of that we thing, because from the jump on Love is Blind, I always thought Clay was full of shit. I thought
I said my clicker. You called it. You called it. I believed him. And even at the reunion, I was just like, you know what? Fool me once, you're not getting me again. But with Michael, in the beginning, I really was like, he's really, but now it's like, I'm like with Vanessa, it's like, dude, it's like he's just going downhill every single week for me, because he's being too overly understanding, or I don't know, he's saying all the nice things, and I don't know if he's sincere. So I'm confused.
I think we also got caught because we automatically had empathy for him because it was his second marriage.
Right.
So we were already trying to pull for him. So we already were trying to I want him to be, get to find his person because he got rejected the first time. But it's not singing true. Now I'm kind of like, oh, come on, man. He's like,
okay, I got to be devil's advocate here because listen, I would have probably been like Michael and been all into her if I was a guy, or let's reverse the roles. And I'm the woman and he's, we're having good sex. We're getting along with each other. I was with Michael in the whole, she is just a savior. Like when they went to the farm or the sanctuary, the animal sanctuary, and she wants to open one. Like this is her end game. She wants to open up an animal sanctuary and have all these animals and do all of this. Then she wants to be a foster parent and have 5 kids at a time, not babies, but like the ones that nobody wants, teenagers and, a little bit older. And I need them to have their own rooms. We got to get a house where everybody has their own rooms because
they need a
listen to me. I was literally clutching my pearls when she was saying it, and I'm looking at Michael, and Michael. I think Michael handled himself well. He was like, okay.
He probably was clutching actual pearls, though. That's the thing.
Yes, he was clutching his actual pearls that he had around his neck. But I was literally like this watching it, and I was like, boo-boo, you asking for way too much. Like, I could like you and we could have great sex and I could possibly see a future with you, but you bringing all that to my table when we all know, and she knows, Michael's a city boy. He's got his little penthouse apartment. He's doing his little thing. He's got his little, outfits and hair things and what have you. And I'm like, I would say no.
You did.
Michael, I'm saying hell to the no. I love you. I like you. I think we could work, but I ain't doing no animal sanctuary farm with you. And I damn sure ain't bringing these problematic children into my house and giving them their own room. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Because what income is paying for all these damn kids?
That is an investigation discovery show. That is an investigation discovery series waiting to happen. Somebody gonna die. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. She's a little bit too much too. I'm like, I can honestly say I'm not thrilled about them. I forced myself to watch and I did not finish. I'm sorry. Because it was really a force.
I sped through too.
I'm over it.
What happened at the after party?
Yeah.
Before we get to the after party, I have to touch upon. Chris, did you watch it? Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. Most of it.
We as a collective need to fly to Denver and legit snatch up Lauren by her braids, neck piece, and then some, and literally dope slap her ass into Kingdom Come, shake her, do whatever, pop, 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 do whatever. Because the fact that she entertained Orion with a meeting, and they went out and had fun, and then had a discussion about, so you think maybe, we can kind of figure this out again? And she was like, I'd be open to it. I almost drop kicked the TV off the wall. I was like, what? WTF, Lauren? I know that Denver is Denver. Ain't a whole lot of black people in Denver. But I'm like,
he ain't black?
Is it that serious?
He's not black?
He's not black, but I'm saying, are you putting yourself, I was looking at her like, is this where it's come to, that you are willing to entertain this man that has basically egged you this entire season, and you're willing to keep the door partially open to have something with him? Either he said in the beginning, remember in the beginning of the season, he said he is a very sexual person and he likes having sex. I'm thinking I don't see it. I just don't see it with Orion. but maybe he is hung like a mule and's got her ass stigmatized that she is willing to.
They ever have sex?
You didn't get any.
They didn't have sex.
No.
They never. I mean, he said, you slept with someone 2 months before you started this, and it's off the table for me.
You're right. I take that back. Rewind. I take that back. Because I'm saying to myself, there's the only reason that I could see her giving him an ounce of a chance is because they had sex and he, was really good and she's stigmatized. So I take that back.
I think Michael and Orion need to hook up.
There you go.
Solved.
It's already.
She said solved. Yeah, something's
what happened after party?
Yeah, what happened?
After party. See, here's what I don't like about the after party now is when it records on my DVR, like I watch it, like when I record my shows, if I don't delete it, it stays there, right? DVR, it stays there until I delete it. The after party, when I watch it, it doesn't even, after it's watched, it doesn't even come up to delete it. It just disappears. Because I went this morning, if you guys can pull it up and pull the clip where Cameron lays into Becca. Cameron stood on business. This was the best.
Becca?
Oh, it was an hour long. So it was like the first 30 minutes. It was.
If you don't tell us what happened.
Okay. We ain't gonna talk about. Okay, the first 30.
I gotta eat at 7:30 because I'm starving. But go ahead.
Okay, I'll make it very quick.
5 minutes.
I ain't gonna talk about the first 30 minutes. The second 30 minutes was Cameron, Becca, and I forgot who was in the middle. Oh, her husband, Keisha Knight Pulliam's husband was a guest. So Becca decided she was gonna take up for Claire. And she was all in there, neck twisting, going in on Cameron. And Cameron was cool, calm, collective, because we know Cameron's got a little heart condition. Cameron sat in his chair and he's like, the text that she shared with you, that me and her were exchanging, she chopped and screwed it and sent you what you wanted to see. But I've got the whole text string. Cameron was cool as hell, and I was sitting there he was like, if you want to see the whole text string, I'll share it with you. And he exposed Emily. He said, he's like, if you really want to go there, Emily cheated on Brennan during the season
with the male stylist.
That don't surprise me.
And then Becca tried to come back at him and say, well, that was because Brennan was, not treating her well or being horrible. And then when Emily went out, we were all out. Emily ran into him and they had a conversation and one thing led to another. And Cameron was like, that's besides the point. He's like, I have all of the text string between me and Claire. I will share it with you. He was going in to the point where when it went to commercial, Becca, it was Cameron closest to Rudy Huxtable, Rudy Huxtable's husband in the middle, and Becca in the end. When it went to commercial, Becca was like this. She was slumped over in the chair, and I was like, you can't say nothing, boo-boo. He was like, I'm willing to share it. He's like, Claire is a manipulator, and she tells you what you want to hear to make herself look good and make me look bad. And Becca could not argue with him on that. And when the Emily thing came out, I literally flatlined on the floor. I was like, oh, okay.
So she cheated, that hoe.
Cheated. Got her head busted open and played the victim. Ain't nothing but
we knew that she was scandalous. We all kept saying it. We knew we did not trust her. She was purposely egging him on in situations. I didn't think that she would cheat. I didn't think she would go there. But it does not surprise me that she went there because she was a skank too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I
don't want to see the show, but I want to see the after party.
I literally tried looking on TikTok and YouTube for the clip. I can't find it. So if you guys can find it,
I have it. I have it.
Text it to me. Email it to me or text it to me.
And you cheated during the marriage? Yeah, Cameron also noted that her bestie Becca, she knew all about it. She saw on his iPad that there were girls messaging him on Instagram and all of this stuff. She gets angry. She goes out one night and there's an Australian guy flirting with her, and she did make out with this Australian guy. When Keisha pointed out that Emily was still married, Becca responded, "Yeah, it's nothing to be excused." After party viewers were lapping up the tea that Cameron spilled, and they applauded him all over social media. One fan wrote, "Love how Cameron is not biting his tongue on after party, and how he is shutting Becca the up because she knows that they were all full of but blaming the men for everything. Someone else had it."
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Well, listen here. We had a good run.
I'm just trying to get back with Austin. She said she thinks she made a mistake.
What?
In the preview?
No, I didn't see the preview.
Becca's talking to her friend. She's like, maybe I was too hasty in the decision. And, maybe
I don't like her anymore.
Can we just be over with this, please?
Yeah.
Yes, I need to be over with this.
Denver.
It's all to it. It's all to it.
All right, guys. Well, it's been real. Another week gone by. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
This